Rural America grows quiet as the sun sets, small towns tucked between fields and forests. They seem safe, but secrets slip through the silence. In places where everyone knows each other, mysteries can linger for decades. People vanish, and stories are whispered in diners and around kitchen tables. The unknown haunts these communities, leaving scars that never heal. Empty roads at night, crowded paths full of unanswered questions. Tonight we revisit two such mysteries. Two disappearances, two families waiting for answers, and two small towns forever changed by what they do not know. The mystery surrounding the disappearance of Brandon Swanson remains unsolved to this day. May 14, 2008, Marshall, Minnesota. 19-year-old Brandon Swanson, a student with his whole life ahead of him, had just finished celebrating the end of his college year with some friends. Little did he know this night would be his last night. The air was filled with the excitement of summer break beginning, with the promise of new adventures and the relief of completed exams. Driving home late, eager to return to the comfort of his own bed, he took rural back roads, a decision that would ultimately lead to his vanishing. He wasn't speeding, just unfamiliar with the terrain. Soon the tires lost traction and his car ended up sliding into a ditch. Unhurt and perhaps a little embarrassed, Brandon called his parents after midnight, seeking their assistance to get his car back on the road. It seemed like a simple problem with a simple solution at the time. He was sounding frustrated but calm, more annoyed by the situation than genuinely worried. He likely thought his parents would arrive soon and he'd be home in no time. He told them his parents he believed he was near Lind and asked for help, providing what he thought was his location. This detail would later prove to be a crucial point in the investigation. His parents, Annette and Brian, immediately drove out to find him while maintaining contact with him on the phone as they navigated the dark country roads. They were determined to reach their son and bring him home safely. As they searched in the darkness, the parents tried to pinpoint Brandon's location, but the rural landscape offered little in the way of landmarks. They flashed headlights, hoping to signal Brandon, but couldn't find each other, adding to the growing sense of unease. The vast emptiness of the countryside seemed to swallow their signals. For nearly 47 minutes, Brandon patiently described his surroundings, attempting to guide his parents to his location. He mentioned a gravel road, a field, and distant lights. His parents listened intently, trying to piece together the clues and narrow down their search area. Suddenly, during the call, his voice changed. "Oh shit!" Then a sharp, distinct noise cut through the line. It was a sound that would haunt his parents forever. Silence. The line remained connected, but Brandon no longer spoke. The line stayed open, crackling with static, but Brandon was gone, leaving behind only unanswered questions and a chilling void. As dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, the search began in earnest. The local authorities were notified, and a wider search party was assembled. His car was found exactly where he said it would be, stuck in a ditch just off a rural road. But there was no sign of Brandon. The vehicle offered no clues, no indication of what might have happened, just an empty road stretching into the horizon, and a family left with agonizing questions that continue to linger in the air. Where did Brandon go? What caused that sudden noise? And will they ever find out the truth? The disappearance of Brandon Swanson sparked an immediate and extensive search effort. Volunteers from the local community alongside professional search and rescue teams mobilized to comb the vast open fields surrounding Marshall, Minnesota. Searchers meticulously scoured not only the land, but also the waterways, including its many rivers. Every inch of the landscape was examined, hoping to find some sign, some clue that could lead them to Brandon. Bloodhounds, with their incredible sense of smell, were brought in to aid in the search. They traced Brandon's scent, following it with unwavering determination, all the way to the banks of the Yellow Medicine River. But at the river's edge, the scent abruptly stopped. The trail went cold, leaving investigators with more questions than answers. The most prevalent theory suggests that Brandon, disoriented in the darkness, may have attempted to cross the Yellow Medicine River and tragically drowned. Despite this theory, the river was searched repeatedly and with painstaking detail by divers and search teams in boats. They left no stone unturned, yet found no trace of Brandon. Not a single shoe, not a wallet containing identification, nothing to indicate he had ever been there. Maybe lost and confused in the overwhelming darkness, he simply wandered further into the countryside. Or perhaps, exposed to the elements on that cold night, hypothermia set in, clouding his judgment and leading him astray. The rural nights of western Minnesota can swallow secrets whole, concealing them within their vast emptiness. Others whisper about the possibility of foul play, a darker explanation for Brandon's disappearance. Did Brandon encounter someone else on that lonely, desolate road? Was there another person involved in his disappearance? The abrupt and unexplained end of his cell phone call to his parents that night only fuels the speculation and raises further questions. For Brandon's family and for the close-knit community of Marshall, Minnesota, the agonizing lack of answers surrounding his disappearance remains a deep and persistent wound that never fully heals. Each spring, as the landscape awakens and the fields begin to green, the haunting question inevitably lingers in the air. What really happened to Brandon on that fateful night? The truth remains elusive, shrouded in mystery and unanswered questions. Next, we head to Williston, North Dakota, 1981, a seemingly ordinary town nestled in the heart of the American Midwest. But beneath the surface of this quiet community, a mystery was about to unfold, a mystery that would haunt its residents for decades to come. Barbara Cotton, 15, a young girl with bright eyes and a hopeful spirit. She was known for her infectious laugh and her dreams of a future beyond the borders of Williston. On a warm summer evening, Barbara spent the evening at the fair with friends. The air was filled with the scent of popcorn and cotton candy, the sounds of laughter and music echoing through the night. It was a typical small-town celebration, a moment of carefree joy. But as the night drew to a close, Barbara began her walk home. She never made it home. The familiar route she had walked countless times before became a path into the unknown. Her mother, frantic with worry, reported her missing right away, her voice trembling as she described her daughter's disappearance to the authorities. But police, perhaps jaded by the realities of small-town life, suspected she'd run away, dismissing the possibility of something more sinister. Days turned to weeks, then months, then years, the hope of Barbara's safe return slowly fading with each passing season. Barbara never returned. Her absence left a void in the town, a constant reminder of the unanswered questions that lingered in the air. Witnesses saw her leaving the fairgrounds, the last confirmed sighting of the young girl. Some said she was alone, walking with a determined stride into the darkness. Others claimed she was with someone, a shadowy figure whose identity remained a mystery. Leads went nowhere, each promising avenue ultimately leading to a dead end. Evidence was scarce, making it difficult for investigators to piece together the events of that fateful night. And the case grew cold, relegated to the dusty shelves of unsolved mysteries. But the town never forgot. The memory of Barbara Cotton remained etched in the collective consciousness of Williston. Barbara's face lingered on missing posters, faded and weathered by time, yet still a poignant reminder of the young girl who vanished. And in memories shared among friends and family, keeping her spirit alive. Did she leave on her own, seeking a new life, beyond the confines of her small town? Or did someone take her, their motives shrouded in darkness and their identity forever concealed? Was it a friend, someone she trusted, a neighbor with a hidden agenda? Or a stranger drawn to the chaos of the fair, a predator lurking in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity? The silence around her case grew heavier with every year, a suffocating blanket of unanswered questions and lingering doubts. Williston still waits for answers, clinging to the hope that one day the truth about Barbara Cotton will finally be revealed. For the families of Brandon Swanson and Barbara Cotton, uncertainty shapes every day. The silence endures, and the towns carry the weight. Rational explanations are tragic, but darker possibilities linger. Did Brandon get lost, or was it something else? Did Barbara trust the wrong person? The pain of not knowing is a shadow that never leaves. Closure remains just out of reach, but hope persists. A clue, a memory, the truth surfacing at last. Where is Brandon Swanson? What happened to Barbara Cotton? Sometimes the smallest detail can break the silence and finally bring answers.